Web3 TV.
Hello and welcome to Web3 TV. I'm Lisa Amnegard, and today we're at the Dubai FinTech Summit 2025. Joining me right now is Christian Davies, Global Head of Distribution and Innovation at Relm Insurance. So thank you so much for joining me today.
No worries. Thank you very much for having us.
And how's the day been so far?
It is busy. It's our first kind of strategic partnership with the DIFC. And it's been very, very, very busy. In fact, I'm really enjoying sitting down right now because there's been a lot of standing.
Yeah, and one of the themes this year is FinTech for all, and which brings me to your company, Relm, because it's definitely not the first thing that screams FinTech insurance. So tell me, what are you guys doing in this space?
So, FinTech is something that's been around for a while. However, what a lot of people haven't really thought about is insuring FinTech companies. And that's kind of where Relm sits. So we're here at the FinTech Festival because we're providing dedicated informed capacity and insurance products to the FinTech sector.
Interesting. And I know that your colleague right now is on stage and you guys have an announcement here today. So tell me a little bit more about that.
Absolutely. So my colleague is on stage right now, and she's just kind of going through our new product, which is our new FinTech insurance product. So this is a combined multi-line insurance product specifically focused at FinTech companies. Traditionally, you would go and get different lines of insurance from different insurance carriers. Well, FinTech is that amalgamation of a financial service and a technology company. So what would traditionally happen is you'd go to one financial services insurer and one tech insurer. Then there's always an argument as to who's actually responsible for it. So what we've done is combine all of them in a single policy. So if there is a problem, if there is a loss, there's one person you have to come to and not multiple.
And okay, so it's sort of like a one-fit-all
Exactly.
solution.
It's a package policy for FinTech companies.
And how does it work? Because, FinTech is evolving so fast. So how do you kind of ensure something that you don't know if it will accelerate 10x by a few months?
So this is the thing, right? It constantly is evolving. And so we were founded 6 years ago, right? And we were founded and headquartered in Bermuda. And through those 6 years, we've seen over 10,000 companies in FinTech, in crypto, in AI, in InsurTech. And we've been fortunate enough to create these data sets that nobody else has. And we're able to apply it to existing technology companies. And it's around the conversations we get to have with our clients. And we get to sit down with them and, try and learn what they're doing. There is risk associated to it. There aren't really any other insurance companies doing what we do because a lot of them don't want to take that risk on their balance sheet. It is our balance sheet. We're kind of, almost putting our money where our mouth is. And 6 years to this day, we're doing a relatively good job of it. But it is absolutely not without risk. And we've seen that when some other, traditional insurance companies have tried to, they've missed some of the risk assets and parts of the exposure. And as a result, it's ended up in some losses.
What are some key differences from, let's say, insuring, a traditional bank versus FinTech?
So traditional banks, you look at what their professional service is. Their professional services to provide, financial services. It's usually on the basis of someone's expertise or someone's profession. When you look to insure those, you're looking at what's their credentials, what's their background, how, where did they do their university degree? Is their university degree in economics or is it in veterinary sciences? You're probably not going to buy a financial, product from someone who's a vet, but you're probably going to buy it from, an investment banker. What's different with FinTech is the way that it's bringing other different technologies into traditional finance. Let's talk about AI, for example. Now, if you look at wealth management, a wealth manager is a qualification. You're regulated as a wealth manager. Well, now as AI starts to play such a massive part of that, that's AI impacting and, making not decisions on behalf of the wealth manager, but guiding them. So is that now the professional risk or is that the AI risk?
which is a tricky subject.
Absolutely.
I think for most insurance companies, it's how do you insure AI? Have you come up with any good solutions?
Yeah, so we actually have 3 products that are specifically associated to insuring AI risk. We have one that's called Nova AI. That's specifically for AI companies when they're building their own large language models, agentic AI, and things like that. We have another one which is called Ponta. We love our Latin-sounding names at Relm as well. Our whole product suite is all like this. So Ponta is what we call a bridge or a DIC. That is for things and companies who are, traditional financial industries, accountants, architects, engineers, professions. Well, as they start to use AI, which start to impact the way that they work and the advice that they give, we insure the AI risk associated with that.
Okay. Which is a very new concept for many insurance companies. They haven't really been looking into that so much.
Absolutely. Yeah, massively so.
And the third area that I wanted to dive into is crypto, because now crypto is being incorporated a lot into fintech companies as an option to pay. So crypto is known to have a lot of risk. Is this something that insurance companies should also be behind?
Well, the history of Relm, as I said, was 6 years ago we were founded, and it was all around the premise of after we saw so much money being put into crypto companies through venture funds and any self-respecting, independent, non-executive director who's coming into a board position is probably going to cover themselves, and the way they do that is through insurance. It's directors and officers insurance. 6 years later, with over 2,500 companies and over 36 different jurisdictions, we've got pretty good data. Most of those are Web3 companies. So there is a lot of risk associated with Web3. It is not easy. Let's talk about tokens. Tokens bring a whole different side to an equity cap table. It's not the investor getting X amount of equity, diluting it by this. This is a whole different type of equity, a load of tokens with different vesting periods. You've got people pulling rug pulls left, right, and center. We have to analyze if this is going to be a viable option. We have to make our own decisions on could this potentially be a rug pull, and as a result, the investors then get sued, or the investors then sue that project or that company. So yeah, there's a huge other side of risk. I mean, not even started to talk about hot wallets yet, which yeah, that's always great.
So it's kind of rewriting the traditional rules around insurance, but
Absolutely.
Applying them to a completely new industry.
Exactly that. So that's exactly what we focus on doing. And here, in the DIFC, supporting the GCC regions, especially in Dubai, there is a huge amount of innovation. They are really pushing the boundaries and trying to support all these emerging sectors, AI, crypto, and fintech being here. They have active conversations with these different industry verticals around how do we regulate it. They don't just stay quiet. They don't sit around. They don't do anything. They're first movers, and they're very proactive in it, and they want to support these ecosystems. I mean, how many times do you now use AI in your day-to-day life?
It's everywhere. It's all the time, right?
And that's the thing. It's about supporting it and, investing in it and providing the infrastructure. So that's why we're here. That's why we set up an operation here at the end of Q4, Relm MENA. And yeah.
And when it comes to sort of what your vision is or what you want to contribute, if it's in fintech or crypto, what is that?
So insurance, I guess, provides stability, right? You've got these companies that are growing and so much part of regulation. If we look at regulation now that's provided by different regulators around the GCC, there is crypto regulation that stipulates they have to buy certain insurances. If you're a fintech, you have to buy certain insurances. Weirdly, it provides like some of the backbone to companies globally. Pretty much every company you will ever speak to, every Fortune 500 company, for example, has lots of different insurances because it is risk management. So, we're here to provide that security layer for all of these innovative and emerging companies as they grow.
And if anyone wants to learn more about Relm, where's the best, or Relm Insurance, where is the best way for them to find you?
So the way that we operate is we act through intermediaries, so insurance brokers. So we have various different appointments kind of on a global basis, but through our website.
Yeah, perfect. Well, thank you so much for speaking with me. It's been a pleasure.
No worries. Thank you very much for having us.
And I'll be bringing you more interviews. My name is Lisa Amnegard, and you're watching Web3 TV.
Web3